Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agents Podcast. You want referrals, but what do you bring to the table?
Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your hosts, David and Al Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together.
You say you want more referrals, but what are you actually giving any value to the people that you expect from them? In this episode, we're going to break down the exact way agents can build powerful referral partner relationships by leading with real value, even if you're brand new or don't have referrals to trade. But first, Elle, before we hop into that, where can they get the resources and everything we got put together for them?
I'm so glad you asked. You can head on over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast to get all of the show notes, the full library of the podcast, as well as a marketing guide that we've put together for you so that you can start with your own organic lead generation.
All right, the referral fantasy versus reality.
Yeah. So, David, agents say that they want referral partners so badly. That's like they want it so much.
All the time.
But they have no plan to actually build any. Why do you think that is?
I feel like they spend all their time doing the opposite things, focused on the opposite of referrals, and then they never get referrals, and then they complain about not having referrals. So let's talk about that, right? I think they think referrals just magically appear, or like every once in a while, it's this passive thing that comes along. They imagine someone handing them this list of leads with a bow on top, right? Like a little gift. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Here you go. All right, but do nothing to earn it, right? Like, if some people just magically pop up like the tooth fairy or something, and just like hand me referrals. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, guys. And when they've tried in the past, they found that it's been like an awkward business card exchange or swap or dead end, like Facebook DMs of like, please work with me. I'd love to help your clients with their insurance. And like, oh, okay, you and every other insurance agent out there, right? So I don't want to take a negative approach to this, but I do want to just kind of highlight some of this because I feel like it relates or is relatable for a lot of agents because maybe they've gone to events, other stuff, but they really see people who have these amazing referral partners and see stuff come through, and they're like, how do I make that happen?
Yeah. And I like that you bring up the business card swap because I know at least when you and I were first building
the good old days,
our marketing business back in 2015, we did a lot of in-person networking, like a lot. I feel like that was mostly like our social lives, if you will, for a season was to just go to these networking events. And I literally had shoe boxes full of business cards because you're just like exchanging business cards. And now looking back on that, and I'm not saying like doing in-person networking is bad or anything. It's just that we didn't really always go into it with an intention to really build relationships. Like I felt like we were kind of there and we were showing up, but we were also just like so new to sort of like building our business that we thought that that was sort of enough for some reason to just kind of like show up, swap the business cards and kind of have the conversation. And as we grew in our business and we got better at it, we really realized that setting an intention going into those events was like a way better use of our time. So like I would set an intention like, okay, I'm going to meet 3 new people today, and I'm going to have a conversation with them, because a lot of times they're open networking. You can have conversations, and pardon my language a little bit on this, but a lot of times you just go and you shoot the shit with people. Like, you just kind of like talk about nonsense, and then you're like, what did I just spend 2 hours doing?
Could have done literally anything else.
And would leave with business cards, but not like a real clear next step. And alternatively, now when I'm making relationships with people, and having that just kind of like conversation with them, learning a little bit about them, talking about hobbies or interests, like that's an important part of relationship building. We're very big believers in that. But not having clear next steps or being able to sort of direct the conversation where you want it to go. Now, when I'm in those situations, my brain is thinking. I'm strategically asking questions to people to better understand their business and kind of understand their goals. And I'm searching for an opportunity to create synergy with them. And so I think a lot of times, especially for new business owners, new entrepreneurs, you're probably a lot like me and David, like that we were when we first started our business. Like, you show up to these events, you know that everybody's there to build their business. We're all there to do that thing, but there's not a lot of like intention behind what you're trying to actually get out of it. And it ends up becoming like kind of transactional in a way, or just like not very deep. Like, it's just very surface level. Like, you're kind of there and you're showing up, but you're not really having like a real strategy to uncover what's important to those business partnerships, or at least to like open the door to those things. So, David, I mean, where do you think that agents go wrong with this as far as coming at it of either the intention or taking that transactional approach?
I feel like what you said, the agents are just playing the wrong game. Like, they're there to, try to talk as many people as possible, hand out as many cards as possible, and almost like they treat this the same way they treat prospects. If I spray and pray enough, if I get enough cards out there, if I collect enough and have enough conversations, I'm winning, and that's going to translate to me getting referrals and having these referral partners. In reality, it just fills up a shoebox that you do nothing with, right? It's just not, and then you feel like you've wasted time, and that there's nothing good coming out of this. But it's just approaching it the wrong way. Like, the game of lead. Well, if I call them enough times, someone will answer, right? Like, if I go enough networking events and get enough business cards, then I'll get referrals and opportunities out of it. But it doesn't really work that way. Like, if I'm really approaching with the intention of building strategic referral partner relationships, I might be only talking to a few people, and the people that I can already see how I could bring value to them and how this would be beneficial to both of us and win-wins, versus talking to someone like, my wildest imagination, you sell Pokemon cards to kids. Like, I can't see a lot of ways that, and I could come up with something, I'm sure. Like, we're pretty creative. I can figure out something, but over here I have, a business that, they run a senior living facility, focus on seniors for insurance. Like, it's just a much more natural and more value packed off the bat relationship there that I could be building. And so it's just not playing the game. It's playing the game transactional instead of relationship focused, like what you mentioned. And I think that's the approach. And we're not just talking about in person at all, but that is, I think, a lot of agents' experience with developing referral partners is like, well, I don't know how to meet them, how to reach out, how to do this. So I'll go to these events put on for people to connect, but I don't come with the right game plan or strategy approach to this. And in reality, a lot of agents just want to make it about them. Like, hey, I would love to help your clients. I'm a great insurance agent, and I would love to help them with their insurance.
Yeah. And then they just kind of leave it at that. Yeah. Like, there's not a follow through involved. And so it's way better, like you're saying, to make just one really great connection than to hand out a ton of cards and not really walk away with any next steps or follow-ups. Like, when I got better at it, I first started realizing, okay, what are the relationships that I want to build? Who are the people that I want to meet? And I would go into it with having that idea in mind on who would be a good person for me to talk to. And then when I'm leaving the event and even concluding those conversations with people, I'm always thinking about what that next step is. And I'm seeding the conversation from there. Like, okay, so would love to connect with you. Like, what's the best way for us to do that? And now we don't do business cards. I'm typically trying to connect with them on social media. I want to know what social media they're using, and I'm going to connect with them there. And I send them a direct message, or if it's text is also really good. But social media is great because if they're connected with you on social, then now they're seeing your content and you're staying top of mind and your social media is working with you. But I do not leave without having their contact information in my phone. And I've sent them a message saying, hey, this is Elle. This is where we met. Really looking forward to reconnecting and going to follow up with you on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I'm back into the office, whatever that looks like. So while we are standing there, they have a message from me that has come in on their phone that they see and that they know. Sometimes, I've taken it as far as been like, oh, David and I selfie together that we took as a photo while we were hanging out together. That's even better for those in-person connections. So
they're just not getting my Snapchat. So
yeah, I just can't emphasize the importance enough of setting the intention going into the event or whatever it is. We're gonna talk about things outside of in-person events here in a minute. It's just, I think, like David mentioned, the easiest way to relate with this. But set that intention going into the event. Who do you want to meet? And then at the end, make sure that you have very clear next step follow-up that you're going to be doing after the event. That's how you get the most out of those types of events, networking things, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think it's I think a lot of agents fall into the, hey, I want to collect as many cards and talk to as many people as possible, because I don't think they've seen or had a strategic referral partner, because that is different.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here. I'm not talking about someone who knows what I do and every once in a while they can shoot someone over. That's nice, and it's nice to get referrals from someone. Maybe you could call them a referral partner, but if they're sending one referral a year, I wouldn't necessarily call them a referral partner. When I say strategic referral partners, I'm talking about people that can send 10, 15, 20 plus deals to a month, and this is recurrent, and this is shared value. This is your exact target audience. They're coming with trust already built in. You should be converting at least 80-90+% of these. Like, that's what I'm talking of. And you don't need a bunch of these. Most people with 2-3 of these, their pipeline's full. They can't even handle anymore without hiring more people. And that's what I'm really talking about. And that's why this is really valuable with these relationships, because this is a predictable stream of referrals that I can have day in and day out each month that leads in even more things, like them introducing me to even more referral partners that deal with my audience. And now I've just got a whole network of referral partners because they connected me. So that's what we're talking about here. Referral, and it's basically a couple points off the bat. Referral partner relationships aren't transactions. They're partnerships built on shared value and trust and mutual benefit. And that's what we really want to focus on here, is like the value part of this. So Elle, what do most agents say when we ask them what value they can bring to a referral partner?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that keeps agents from actually really truly developing these partnerships is they feel like they can't reciprocate in the partnership. They're like, I have a small big book of business. I don't really have a lot of referrals that I could send over to them. So immediately their brains are always going to that transactional. Like, if you're sending me referrals, then I need to be sending you referrals one-to-one. But over and over and over again, we have seen that those partnerships really just don't work out that way. And at the end of the day, like, there's so many other ways that you can add value to a relationship that's not transactional, that's not about commissions. That's another big thing, like, doing referral fees or sending them money. And true business owners that really care about the longevity of their business do not want, it's not that they're going to like not take your referral fee, but they're not going to send a client over to you or a referral over to you if they're not 100% sure that that referral is going to be in good hands. They want to make, for them, their reputation and adding value to their clients is their number one priority, because that's what a referral is. It's a transfer of trust. They're vouching for you. They're basically putting their name on the line for you. That's why referrals are so valuable, is because of that trust and that recommendation. So truly, the best thing that you can do is add value to your referral partners by filling some sort of gap for them. And a lot of times, agents are just thinking way too narrowly about this. And they're not thinking about the support that they can really offer. This could also be in helping your referral partner get more visibility. Maybe it's tools, or maybe it's your time. So the biggest thing here is, like, you need to have conversations with your potential referral partners and really understand what's important to them. What do they value? And it can just be a simple question like, what's one thing I can help you with right now? That might be that maybe they have an event that they're going to be putting on, and maybe they need some extra hands on deck. Maybe like in real estate, maybe they need help with like running an open house. Maybe it's a Google review. Maybe they're trying to get their Google. Everybody wants more Google reviews. So go leave them a 5-star Google review.
Yeah, don't leave them a 3-star if you want referrals.
Yeah, so. Don't do that. Yeah.
5-star Google reviews, please.
Maybe it's like hyping their content on social media, or maybe it's something like if you are using social media and they're like scared of social media, maybe it's recording content together, or showing them some of the things that that are working for you on social media, or just being a friend. I cannot tell you, I think some of my best referral relationships have come from people that I developed a relationship with because we developed a friendship and we commiserated together over business ownership. And we developed a relationship that way, just being a friend to somebody, being somebody that people can talk to, that they can relate to. That in and of itself has a lot of value. So your job really is to understand what's important to that referral partner and really start there.
Yeah, and that's where we want to challenge you. Basically, get yourself out of the box of, well, how do I pay them or get referrals to them? Like, take those things off the table. Like, yes, if I have referrals sent back, that's great. But like I said, it's never a one-to-one. And usually there's a lot more opportunity one way than the other. That's not really what I'm talking about. I don't like transactional period really with these. I do like value-driven relationships. And, it's entirely different. And it gets you, once you get out of that box, you can find all kinds of fun, creative ideas. But like Elle said, the easiest thing to do is just ask, like, how can I help bring value to you as a part of that? And, Elle said, oh, they'll probably still take, still would take a referral fee offer. Honestly, I've seen referral partners just like, no, I don't want any of that, because of the value you're bringing is much more important to them, not just the reputation sometimes, but I'm thinking of like loan officer, right? If you can get to that client of theirs quickly, help them put stuff in place, help them get that deal across the line to closing faster and get that deal done, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of commissions for them. That they care way more about that and getting the client across the line, not running into issues and problems and great customer care and service, than they do about a Walmart gift card. Let's be honest. So it's like, no, I don't want that. Just do an amazing job. And if you do that, you'll stay my trusted partner on this side. So there's a lot of ways to bring value. We'll talk about some fun ones, but something that they probably don't know that you'll be able to help them out with. Or like Elle said, just the simple, easy stuff makes such a big impression off the bat that if someone drops a Google review, especially for businesses that don't get a lot of Google reviews, interacts with their social content, it says, oh yeah, these guys are amazing. Like, they immediately have goodwill towards you. Like, yeah, I would sit and talk with you for 15 minutes or coffee. Someone does that for us. Like, yeah, I'm happy to meet you or have you come by the location or the office. Right. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And just really getting curious about them and coming at it from that angle. You want to use your curiosity to discover what's important to them. And I think it's a little bit of this balance when you're developing these relationships, because you do want to build that trust and you do want to build rapport, and you don't want it to just all be, lifestyle, friendship, the shooting the shit type stuff. And you also do want to ask good questions that uncover what's important to that potential referral partner. But you don't want it to just be like David's talking about, as far as it being just overly transactional either. So I almost think about it like, building your referral partnerships is building a pipeline, just like any other pipeline that you would build. And through that pipeline, through that process, there's always with clients and with leads, there's the sale, right? There's the discovery process that's going to lead to the close. Well, the close in this situation is them referring business over to you, but they don't just refer business without you doing a discovery with them first, right? Like that sale, that closed business is never going to happen if you don't do a proper diagnostic with your client. The same thing is true with your referral partners as well. You can't expect it to close without doing proper discovery and understanding what is important to them and helping to fill that gap. It's the same exact thing. If you can apply that same ideology that you take to your sales process and apply that to your referral partnerships, you're going to win in the referral partnership game.
Well, and it could be a deal you don't even want to close. It could be bad business, right? And
that's true.
That's part of this discovery, right? Like you may go through your discovery process with an insurance client and be like, oh, yeah, this is a different situation than I thought, or oh, basically this, as I'm going through this person is absolutely someone I don't even want as a client. And so that same thing is happening with your strategic referral partners. Like you want to get to know each other, and how each other does business, how they treat clients, how their processes are. And you may be like, this is a really great fit. We're aligned. This is going to be fantastic. I wouldn't send anybody to them, my worst enemy, right? And so and when you have a limited amount of time, like these strategic referral partner relationships aren't like, cool, nice to meet you. Cool, you'll start sending me referrals for the rest of my life here. It's ongoing time that I'm investing in them and things that we're doing together. I want to make sure it's the right fit. It's kind of like, dating a little bit, before we get married and committing on that side. It's the same thing here, right? I'm not going to be like, cool, let's be referral partners because you run a business that maybe could be good for me. No, I want to find out that stuff, right? So that's what I was talking about. Do the discovery process with them. And this leads to an ongoing relationship and opportunities as a part of that. So Elle, I want to talk about, providing value and how to develop these relationships and what you can do. We actually have an opportunity to go to an insurance agency, and, part of the things like we can help deliver some value on is helping them with social content, showing them how to create that, having a fun time with people in their office and taking them through these things in order to develop the relationships there, lead with value, and already off the bat, even kind of plan to go in like, hey, we would love to reciprocate. We'd love to make this worth your time and stuff as well, just because we're willing to come provide some value. We didn't ask for that. We just want to come help them out with something and have a good time. But is it going to lead to business? Probably. And so probably a lot of really great things, actually. And by showing them something that we know a lot about and happy to help them with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's such the key here. And it really is understanding what people need or how you can help them, and really understanding like that value that you can bring. And I just can't stress that gap enough of you having the conversation and asking questions. And so I ask questions like, what makes this a win for you? That I asked that question today to somebody, like, what makes this a win for you? And then I get to hear from them, like, what they're looking to get out of the relationship or the partnership. I ask questions because I I'm just very curious about business. I love understanding how people's businesses work. I'm very numbers driven as well. So I think sometimes people feel a little bit weird about this, but I don't at all, because it's just business. And so I ask questions like how many new clients on average are you bringing in a month? Who is an ideal client for you? How big is your email list? How big is your text message list? How big are your audiences on social media? Which social media platforms are best for you? What I always like to ask things like, what are some of the challenges that you really help your clients solve? Like, these are all questions that I ask in that discovery type process, so that and as I ask those questions, I get a clearer idea of how I can fit into their business, because ideally I would like to be an extension of their business somehow. And whoever their ideal client is, if I can learn how with my service they can add value to their client base, or they can win with something that I offer, I'm golden right there. That's what I'm looking for. And you just got to learn the right questions to ask, and also be comfortable asking them too. I think sometimes people get kind of weird, but at the end of the day, we're all business owners. Like, most of us, if you're a business owner, you like to talk about business, right?
You should.
You like to exchange ideas, and you like to hear what's working for other people. You also like to know what the challenges are that they're facing. That's just a very human thing. And that translates to business as well.
And think about it this way, like, how cool would it be, like, on a test you're taking, to be like, yo, what's the answer? Cool. Let me work my way into this answer. That's literally what you're doing here. You're getting the cheat code to the answer of, like, how can I make this a win for you?
Yes.
How can I bring value to you? Oh, that's it. Cool. I can do that. Cool. Cheat code. Immediately got to the answer of the win, versus trying to make some sort of value happen that I think might be valuable to them that they don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day,
Totally.
like, I just want to find ways to help them build these relationships. Like, how did this opportunity even come about? It came through providing value to some agents that ended up actually working with us, and then they saw that value there. They connected us and invited us to an event. We came out, we made some relationships, we talked to people, we shared some of what we know, and people found that, hey, that's actually something we need. That's actually really valuable. I like that. And we said, hey, we'd love to come just help out and do some stuff with you. And I was like, oh, well, we've never had someone offer to do that. We would love that. And this is something really important too. We'd love for you to come out. And this led into some really cool relationships out of there. And so keep in mind, once again, you should never, ever, ever forget, this is a relationship industry. Business is relationships in the first place. And so every single person you're talking with, interacting with, especially your clients, especially referral partners, these are relationships you want to continue to develop. And the sky's the limit on where that stuff can lead.
I love it. All right. So let's talk about some creative ways to bring value. I know we kind of we talked about some things of, asking, but what are some strategies that we see our clients win with over and over again when they're developing these relationships?
I mean, there's a lot, and I like the more creative ones. I think the more creative, the more fun it is for both, especially if it helps your referral partners in their business, which it would, which means even more referrals for you, by the way. The more you help them, the more they're sending more referrals to you. It's a win-win, right? That's what we should ultimately strive for. But let's give a few examples. One popular one, in fact, I think we've done this with one of our agents ourselves, and have actually had a lot of clients actually do a fun one with this, is with salons, nail salons or hair salons. On that side, they interact with a lot of people. They have a lot of conversations. If you have a target audience, chances are they get their hair done or potentially nails done as well. A lot of opportunities there. In fact, with our local one, we actually found out 80% of their audience was seniors, and we were like, oh, we work with seniors. Yeah, this is great. But doing giveaways with them, for example, like giving away a free cut and color once a month, and they get to blast out their email list, which should be thousands of people even. And then people are like, oh, I want to win the free cut and color. That'd be great. And they'll be like, oh, with our trusted, referral insurance partner, David, giving away a free cut and color, and then they can enter in, they get hundreds of entries, reach out and say, hey, I want to confirm your entry. Isn't Susie great? Yeah, she does my hair too. Talk up your referral partner. Anything that talks up your referral partner is great. And by the way, we're doing some additional entries. If you have a quote done, or let me get you this information, which, people find super helpful. They're like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Better chance to win. Plus, hey, if I can save on my insurance or have this take a look at, or have never actually talked to someone, great. And then at the end, as they have a winner, hey, they get to send out the email list. If you didn't get a chance to talk to our trusted insurance referral partner about protecting your family, your home, your health, then book a time with them. Stuff comes out of that as well. It's a win-win all around. It's a win for the salon. They get to, give value to their audience, their list, have a winner, get in front of them. It's a touch point. It's a win for the agent as far as opportunities for clients, and it's a win for the person that won something of value as a part of that as well. So that's kind of like one fun way that you can do things. And honestly, every time I mention this, they just like, I never even thought about doing something like that. I would just be like, how many people do I have to send to a hair salon? I guess I can tell people if they're looking for something, but that's really where they stop at how can I deliver value.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to be a marketing genius to do this stuff. You just need to care enough, again, to have those conversations, and then, come with a couple of ideas too. So we love the giveaway. I also love things like doing collaborative social media content with them. So Facebook Lives or podcast can be great. Sometimes too, there's all kinds of different types of podcasts out there. You could even ask your audience, like, hey, looking to get featured on podcasts. Who do you know that runs a podcast? Usually most podcasters are looking for good guests. But also just giving your referral partners that exposure on your social media. Even if you don't have a big audience. Don't let that stop you. The intention of behind it. And then also, most business owners are not doing things like Facebook Lives. And David and I do Facebook Lives all of the time. It's a very, very powerful type of social media content to create. I think I'm forgetting the stats, but it's one of the most live content is one of the most widely consumed types of content, but yet there's very few in the scheme of things, content creators that are actually doing live streams. So anyway, that is very valuable. Maybe you are going to start a panel, or maybe we've got clients that work with contractors, and she calls it Stacy's Standout Stud. And she does this like shout out for her different referral partners that she works with that also work with contractors. And she does that on her social media. Doing that kind of stuff, it makes people feel good. Like they love that. So sometimes things that you think are small actually mean a lot to these referral partners.
Yeah, and especially you can do events together, whether it's like in person at like farmers markets, or like trade shows, or just like something you put on for the community together with them. That's stuff you can do mutual benefit to both tap in the community for, like, if it's local, or if it's like a webinar that you guys are putting in for an audience. Like if I did, mortgage protection insurance, I'm connecting with a ENC agent that does home insurance, and a title insurance agent, and maybe a loan officer. And hey, let's do an event, whether a webinar in person, on a guide for first-time home buyers, so you don't make mistakes that cost you thousands, right? Like, oh, this is a really great event, hits all the audiences for both of us. We all get to tap into that and provide value. And that's going to be something you can do. You can do cross promotion together. You can do the interviews, like Elle said, whether it's podcast or just creating video content for social. And then even just shouting them out, like on social, like, if I do a tag, hey, just got my hair did at this Krista salon. It did an amazing job, right?
Yes.
Like, vote yes or no below, or ever, and like highly recommend going by if you want to look fly, right? Come up with a tagline like that. I just did it off the top of my head. That was actually, it rhymed, right? But in any shout outs like that, once again, referral partners, just like you would if someone's shouting you out, really appreciate it. They appreciate the same things you do. I know that's another cheat code, right? And so there's a lot of ways to provide that value with them, and don't let feel if you feel not creative limit you at all. You actually have a pretty good friend that you can go use at all times to kind of help think through some of these things and creative ideas, whether it's for stuff you do with referral partners or just what I write for a social media post. And that's like ChatGPT and AI. So like, I have potential to connect with this referral partner. How do I bring value to them? It will give you a lot of good ideas, even some of the ones that we're mentioning as well on there. So like, don't let that hold you back. I think that's where a lot of agents feel stuck. It's like they just can't think through. Like in my mind, my brain's always working on how to make these connections and bring value. But honestly, that's why we love teaching it. Is it just like as eye openers for agents? Like, oh, I could definitely do that. So yeah, so let's go through some specific industries, some scenarios, once again, to make this a little bit easier for agents. Like, cool, I get the concepts. Can you give me some examples in how that would be beneficial? And that's going to help me kind of think through this for myself as well. So yeah, let's start off with like commercial PNC agents. PNC partners can be gold for a lot of different lines of insurance. So even within the insurance industry, there's a lot of opportunity for referral relationships and things you can do together. So especially commercial PNC. So Elle, tell us a little bit. What are some opportunities here?
Yeah, so I love the commercial PNC side, or any agent or agency that works with businesses, and it just opens up a lot of opportunities, I think, and allows you to kind of have higher level conversations with them. But one example that we have a client that's working on actually right now that I love is she's a health agent and specializes in group benefits. And she's working with a commercial PNC agency owner. And they're talking about, like, basically the whole title of their workshop or virtual webinar that they're doing together is like, don't overpay for your employees. And the commercial PNC agent is talking about the workers' comp side of it. And then our client, who's the health insurance side, she's talking about benefits. And also, there's so many, if you're a health insurance agent, you know way more about this than I do, but there's so many different benefits that employers, business owners just don't even know that they can offer to their employees. There's all kinds of tax credits and all kinds of things that they can do to really save money and still provide great benefits to their employees. So they're going to be collaborating together on a webinar like that for business owners, and tapping into both of their audiences, promoting it to both of their lists, and getting that cross-pollination, the cross promotion that happens. That's why I do like to ask the question, how big is your audience? How big is your list? David and I very frequently do this webinar strategy for people that we really like and that we trust and that we have a good relationship with. We will absolutely put them in front of our audience, do an interview with them. But we also talk to them about, what could we do in front of their audience for their list. And a lot of times we do webinars, we do workshops quite a bit virtually. And it's a fantastic way to, get more exposure, get your brand out there. And then, just depending on the comfort level of the referral partner, ideally you're able to offer some sort of call to action in the webinar. So this is the best way to do it. You put a QR code on the screen or drop a link for them, and they can book a call or fill out a form directly from the webinar. And so this is what our client is doing for the Don't Overpay for Your Employees webinar, that her and her referral partner that they're collaborating together on. They're basically going to have a form at the end where the attendees fill out the form. And then afterwards, they're going to look at the people that came through the form that they filled out. What did they indicate that they were interested in? And now those are leads for both of them. And it's not only just leads, it's also a nurture step. It's a value add step to the list. And going back to that whole idea of adding value to your referral partners, when you come to them with an idea like, let's do a workshop together, you can ask them, like, okay, let's say it's a loan officer, for example. Loan officers, real estate agents, they work a bunch of leads too. So if you're doing some sort of virtual event with them where you're adding a lot of value, let's just say maybe for like new home buyers, if we're taking the loan officer example, well, they probably have a lot of leads, just like you probably have a lot of leads that have never booked an appointment and that they've never had a conversation with. Hosting a virtual webinar like this, where you're using email and text message as well as social media to promote your event to them and let them know about it, you're not asking them to book a call with you right off of the email or the text message. You're asking them to register for the webinar, something free, something valuable for them. Well, these webinars and these educational events can really move the needle, because people that come to these types of live events and they spend an hour listening to you talk, they have a lot of indoctrination and trust with you now. Anybody that sits through anything that's 40 minutes, an hour long, David and I run hour and a half long webinars sometimes, and we keep people stay on with us for that long. But if they've spent an hour and a half of their time with us, there's a lot of trust. We're not forcing them to stay on these things.
I don't have someone on their phone being like, watch this until they finish, right?
When you do a call to action, which is an invitation now to take that next step, instead of you hammering away on the phones, trying to get these people on the phone, invite them to an educational webinar like this. This is something you can do by yourself too, by the way. It just works really, really well as a collaboration event for your referral partners. And use that as a way to warm them up, educate them, let them know about who you are, they get the sense and the feeling about you, and you're educating them, providing them with that value. Now you're giving them that invite. Here's the link to book the call. They're going to be so much more open to booking that call with you, or you follow up with your webinar registers, the people that registered for the webinar. Hey, just wanted to make sure that you were able to attend. Do you want the replay of it? And even if they didn't book a call, now you're in conversation with them. So this strategy in general is like probably one of my most favorite just marketing strategies, because it has worked so well for us and so well for so many of our clients. But really getting your referral partners involved with this, and they're going to see the value. If you come to them with an idea like this, they're going to be like, yeah, heck yeah, I want to be a part of that. Let's do it.
And I mean, also, especially in this example of like different lines of insurance connecting on opportunities, there's so much value you can bring through that side as well. Like, so if I do group life, right, and there's commercial PNC, and they have never talked to someone, or maybe they have group life and you're able to help them and the business save on that, which means they can now get either more coverage on the PNC side or put it towards other things, but it helps with that goodwill towards that commercial PNC agency and retention, which is where PNC money is made. Or maybe it's a small business and they don't provide group life because they're smaller, and now they have a trusted partner can get introduced from the commercial PNC agency to someone who can talk to their employees and their staff about life benefits, and now the business looks good out of that as well. There's a lot of opportunities, maybe commercial PNC, all these business owners, and you do IULs or stuff like this and sit down or talk to them about IULs or talk about whole life and infinite banking or all these other things. There's so many ways you can do value, do events together to bring more value to their clients and stuff there. So I think a lot of you guys may find that a little bit easier to think through of like from the insurance side, how do I bring that? So we're going to help bring some of this creativeness over to outside of that as well. So let's talk about another example here, maybe not two different lines of insurance connecting. Let's talk about fitness and wellness
Yes.
next. All right. Like, yeah.
I love
Why
this.
is this such a good
I love
opportunity?
this. Okay, so I love fitness and wellness because first off, there's a lot of people that run businesses that are in the fitness space, whether they're personal trainers, they're physical therapists, they're yoga instructors. And what's very cool about this is that they're already talking to likely your ideal client, and you can apply this to maybe like younger families that have kids, but you can also apply this to the senior space as well, because there's lots of professionals that specialize like in physical therapy, for example, senior yoga studios or senior fitness classes, silver sneakers. But let's take this from that younger family sort of perspective. So, what I also like about this is like if you're doing things in person, collaborating with a referral partner that has a physical space for events is really great. So, because you're thinking like at that point, and if they're working with your clients and you can do something in their space, you're essentially going to where those ideal clients are. But it can also be super beneficial for them as well, especially if you make this like a community event. It helps get their name out there. It helps establish them as a pillar in the community. So with this, I really like to think about creating workshops all around wellness. Also, when people are involved, they're like invested in their fitness, their physical fitness. That's usually a good indicator that they're going to care about their financial health as well. So bringing this idea together as far as, physical fitness, mental fitness and health, as well as your financial fitness and health, and doing a workshop that's collaborative all around wellness. You can also position it more towards kids for families. And I like that with bringing in the fitness instructors, especially if they have like yoga for kids or like karate classes or things like that that are geared towards or martial arts or things that kids would just be involved with anyway. Kids sports or leagues could be really good, like at maybe like a YMCA type thing, but but you're thinking about bringing together these wellness professionals, thinking about maybe also bringing in like a mental health professional, or, like pediatricians, doctors. A lot of times people are trying to build these relationships and they're going to like a doctor's office, for example, or optometrist or orthodontist or something like that. And or they'll call the office just to, try to set something up with them. But when you come at it at that, basically you're positioning yourself as being a champion for health for your community, and that you have a, kind of like a 3 sort of prong approach around mental health, physical health, and financial health. And you kind of use that as the anchor and the positioning to reach out to your referral partners. Sometimes this can get your foot in the door with some of those maybe more high value referral partners, the ones that you're maybe like, I don't even know how I could start to approach them. Thinking about making resources, doing workshops like this for your community now gives you an in, and it really can help you start that conversation and break the ice when you come to them with ideas like this, because it's like, hey, I'm putting together this type of event. I know you do XYZ in the community. I hear that you're the best orthodontist in town, or the best child therapist in our city, and so you're the first one that I wanted to reach out to about this workshop that I'm putting together. So just thinking about it as far as like when you start building out these workshops, and especially when you start promoting them, they start getting visibility and start getting traction. These are things that you can do over and over again. And what happens with this is like, as you're starting them, you're going to have to be the one that reaches out, makes the connections, But as you get known for hosting these types of events, whether that's in person or we have clients that build Facebook groups and do this on social media, now you become the person that people are reaching out to. Hey, how can I participate in your event? And when you do these types of things, again, this is why you don't want to focus on the transactional side, just sending referrals back and forth. You really want to think about these types of valuable collaborations that you can create, because now you're a value maker. You're the person that is creating the value for the business owners and for your community. And that's something that people want to be a part of.
And now you can do bigger and bigger things, because whenever you have a targeted audience that trusts you, has goodwill with you, that's really valuable. And people will come, hey, that's an amazing audience. That's also who I love to work with. How can I participate in this? Yeah, I can sponsor your event. Yeah, I can pay towards that or help do these things. Now I can do even bigger things or bigger events or prizes, attract even more people to it and all these things. And if that sponsor also works with the same audience, they're probably a referral partner potentially for me too, right? And so relationships stack. That's what we always talk about, the snowball effect. That's not possible in transactional relationships. But it's so much exponentially more valuable as a part of this. So think about this, and it's so much fun doing these things too. You get to really have this impact. You get to connect with people, not people that are yelling and cussing at you. You get to build relationships, right? And you get to have value to either community if you're just local, or it's just a really great way to provide value and have people tap it online, where they're not going to come check out or talk to you unless they see some sort of value in it for themselves. And this is a great way to provide that value to get them actually to come listen to you as a part of that as well. So the workshops, the content series, stuff leading to ongoing events that you're known for. There's so much stuff that you can do. And health, I know we started with the fitness side, and health is such a great introduction to really all these areas of insurance, because it leads into, of course, life and people qualifying for stuff and next generations. But it leads into health, of course, from the health side of longer time with my family and my health benefits and coverage for my kids, or into Medicare as I'm a senior. But even to the PNC side of like, hey, we're protecting our lives to spend more time with our families, protect our most prized possessions that are important to our family, like our home and our car that gets us around to the sporting events and our jobs, on that side too, along with our health, right? And so everything ties together around that. That's why it's such a good area or industry to connect with for this. So with that, let's hit on re-engaging, prospects and clients with real value. Elle tapped into this a little bit earlier on.
Oops, I may have moved ahead.
You may have moved ahead, but that's fine. We talk in flow here. We got a lot of stuff we love covering. But how do we bring value to these prospects that don't want a millionth call, right? Like, they're not touching out to us. They're not ghosting us because they've never seen something from us. They're ghosting us because they don't want to talk to us and they don't see a value or reason to do that yet. And so this is a great way to bring more of that across the line as a part of that. So, I mean, where do most agents think the value stops?
At the sale?
At the sale. That's where they think it stops. Like, cool, I did my job. You're never going to hear from me again. Moving along.
Yeah, I think most agents want to build relationship with their clients, and they want to continue to offer value to them. I think that they sometimes feel stuck in that, in the time and energy that it takes to add additional touch points on that side of things after the sale is made. And doing these types of workshops and events, whether that's in person or doing something virtually, is a great way to continue to add value. Not only can it nurture those leads, like David mentioned, that ghosted you, and what I talked about, that helps bring them more closer to booking that call and booking that appointment with you. But for your clients, you can, think about this as almost doing like an appreciation type event too on that side. Yeah. And you get some of your referral partners together, and all of you guys could, kind of share the workload and throwing an appreciation event or doing something special for clients. So that is a fantastic way to continue to nurture those relationships, add value, and to make these collaborations in such a way where you're not only adding value, it's a win-win-win, because you're not only adding value to your referral partners now, you're also now adding value to your clients, and you're adding value to yourself and your business. And that's truly what a good partnership looks like. You win, your partners win, their clients win, and your clients win. It should just be like one big happy winning circle, where we're all able to add value to one
For
another.
one big family, right? Something like that, right? And so, and business is more fun when it's that way, when it's relationships, right? And not unlike family, is it not without its challenges or obstacles and stuff, but like when stuff is win-win and synergistic, you're having fun, your referral partner's having fun, your clients and audience having fun and enjoying stuff and seeing the value, sending more people, you become known for the thing, and then more and more people come to you. They want you on podcasts, they want you to come speak at events, they want you in magazines, you're winning awards, and you're having this impact that you wanted to have, right? Like there's a lot of ways to go out and make money. And I don't think there's many industries that are impactful on people and their families and lives and most important values than insurance. And so being able to come in and have that impact, well, yes, building wealth for yourself and your family, hitting your own goals, I mean, that's once again a win for everybody. So that's what we want to bring here, is some ideas on how to think through that, how to put stuff in place. We get to talk about this a lot more. Maybe we'll do a follow-up episode as a part of this as well. But, as we kind of wrap up, if you want to get referrals, you have to be worth referring in the first place. That doesn't matter how much value you bring to a referral partner. If you're not someone they want to refer in the first place and do a good job with your clients, take care of them, have a good process, then even if you provide a ton of value, still not going to refer you. So be the person worth referring, but also build the relationship and provide the value that absolutely makes them want to refer you. So not because you asked, but because you helped them, right?
And remember, at the end of the day, you're not just building a pipeline, you're building partnerships and relationships.
So who are you bringing value to this week? So with that, Elle, how can they go get everything we put together for them and the resources?
So if you want a guide to help you with this organic marketing, the strategies that we talk about, you want the show notes and additional podcast episodes, head on over to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast and we'll send it right over to you.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.